All right, guys. I don't know if we're streaming or not because it doesn't say that I am. So we're going to head over to YouTube and see. Oh, yeah, it looks like we are. Fabulous. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Happy spring break week at the studio. I've got a very, very short video for you today. This is the equivalent of it could have been an email in video form. But we are going to go through each of the classes and we'll talk through just a little bit of housekeeping. It'll be super fast. So if you want to catch the cliff notes that are actually in the email that you get, you'll get the same information, I promise, and not a lot of fluff beyond it. So let's go through each of these classes. First things first, there are no classes this week. It is spring break week. The studios have a couple camps going on Tuesday and Thursday during the daytime. We've got some Creation Nation classes on Wednesday night, afternoon and evening, and that's it. There's no makeups. There's no any of the other classes. So the regular classes that we come to are on break this week. That's really rare that we're able to do that. We'd like to do that because we know so many families are traveling, but a lot of times we can't because we have to get all our classes in that you paid for. So, but this year, because of the way the calendar works out, it was just perfect, and we were able to take the whole week off, and nobody misses a class. Everybody still has 4 classes or 3 classes or whatever was required by your class description. So all the stars aligned. It was great. So no classes this week for Liberty, no classes this week for Flatwoods. Okay. In preschool, there's nothing. It's going to feel weird for you guys because you're going to have 2 weeks off in a row. And that's because we do have that like off week for March and the off week for April kind of butting up against each other. So, and for like the Monday people and the Tuesday people, there are 5 Mondays and Tuesdays in the month of March. If you look at calendar, it makes a lot more sense. But that's why it's like, man, it feels like we haven't had art class in forever. That's why. But we'll be back next week with our April classes, and it's all about nature and Monet. This is a really like sensory rich month. So we actually start by reading. We changed the book. What was it? It used to be Ferdinand, and we just changed it to Have You Seen a Flower? And then we're going to look at flowers, and we're going to smell flowers, and we're going to make little potion perfumes. So very sensory rich. We're going to pound flowers and make prints out of them. So it should be a fun month. For our K-thirds and multimedias, again, no class this week. Here's a picture from last week's class when we wrapped up our multimedia projects. They finished their birds, which is a dimensional collage piece from cardboard, and everything else in the craft closet. It was like, here, kids, have fun. Multimedia is the Maximus dream. We just like empty the closet and let you go crazy. But we'll be moving on to fiber arts next month, and they'll be doing these wall hangings. And I think I have a picture going on social media later this week. So check out Facebook or Instagram. Past projects that we've done with this. It's a very like boho style fiber wall hanging. So I love them. For our 4th and 5th in homeschool, again, no class this week. They wrapped up their jungle collages last week. This is one of our artists here in front of a black light showing you that it does have elements that glow in the dark, which is so cool. Collage month is over, and so they will move on to needle felting. So we'll talk more about needle felting in next week's video in April classes. They are sharp, and so we do need our kids to be extra responsible, which they always are, but if it is a problem, we do have an alternative for them. For 6th, 7th, and 8th, 12th, again, no class this week for multimedia. They wrapped up their painted paper collage projects and had some really fun artwork and very skilled collage techniques, which is something that, I mean, you didn't think like cutting and pasting could be a skill, but it really is that you can have a polished piece of cut paper. So super proud of these artists, and they'll be moving on to felting next week as well with their April projects. In the past 2 years, we've been felting in a 2D form. It's been a while since we did it in 3D. So these guys are going to be working 3-dimensional and creating sculptures out of felt. So it's, I'll show it next week, but it's like cotton candy wool roving. It's very fluffy. Picture cotton candy. That's what it looks like. And you stab it repeatedly with a barbed needle, and it tangles up all those fibers, and it becomes a solid structure. So they will be needle felting as well, but instead of working flat like our 4th and 5th and our homeschool artists, they will be working in the round and creating. I make sculptures like this, but they're really going to be very, very small because it takes a long time. No class in creative explorations this week. So my Wednesday people in Flatwoods, my Friday people in Liberty, take note. No classes this week. That might be confusing because you're going to look and be like, hey, but Friday is April. It's okay. We usually take Good Friday off anyway, and it just works out that it happens to be the first this time. So no class this Friday in Liberty or Wednesday in Flatwoods. But even though, well, I guess Wednesday is April too. We're gonna take our off week at the beginning of the month, and then we'll grab those 3 classes at the end. So hopefully that makes sense. Look at a calendar. If you like, I don't know what she's talking about, it might help. Otherwise, check your calendar inside your Sawyer account, and that will definitely help. If you don't know how to find that, let me know. For our drawing classes, and this is the last time I will do a slide where it's like all the drawing classes because we have wrapped up all of our showcase pieces, which is what we did for the month of March. Our kids created a piece that really showcases their skills. They got to decide on what their subject was going to be. They decided their composition. They decided what drawing medium that they were going to use. And then they finished a drawing. We finished it with artist statement, mats, and everything. Some of them submitted those pieces to art show. Some of them didn't, and that's okay. It's totally optional. We just wanted to give them the opportunity to really make something that they're proud of from start to finish. A lot of times in our drawing classes, especially in the 101 and the 102 level, we're working with just lessons. And so finished drawings are never really the goal, except for the month of March. So that's what they did last month, and we were all done with that. When we come back for April classes, excuse me, next week, the slideshow will have each of the levels of drawing because we'll be back to our lessons where each level and each class is doing something different every single week. Let's go through some housekeeping things. Reminder, no class this week. Okay, so if you're enrolled in classes, don't come. You're gonna be so disappointed. Okay, no makeups, no classes, don't come. We'll be back next week with all of our April classes. Art show submissions. So deadline is April 9th. That is not this week, but next week when you come back, it's a Thursday at 9 p.m. That's a hard deadline, and anything after that doesn't get in the show. Those are the rules. Okay, submissions are 2 steps. Fill out the form, drop off your art. Both those steps have to be done by April 9th at 9 p.m. Fill out the form, drop off your art. Okay. Email me if you need help. All right. Junior staff applications due by April 13th. So we got plenty of time still on that. And then don't forget to sign up for summer. They are still filling up. Our ad campaign has really ramped up on Meta, which is the Instagram and Facebook advertising platforms. We will start to bring that down here in the next 3 weeks or so. But we plan to be mostly full with all the summer stuff over the course of the next 3 weeks. And then we're just going to work on preparing for summer. So we'll have some behind the scenes stuff for what that looks like. The curriculum book for the 3 months of summer is just about done. It's about 200 pages, and I have been working on it diligently. So I can't wait to show you some of that so that you can see some of the projects and fun things that we have planned for summer. If you're not sure what class is right for your artist, please reach out so that I can help you decide that before things fill up. And then just a reminder, we don't have any of these classes during the summer. So if you're sitting back and thinking, I don't need to do summer camps, we're in Drawing 102. You're not in the summer. There are no drawing classes in the summer. I mean, there are, but they're like single session one-offs that we're registering for right now. Or there's that 3-week session that Miss Grace is putting on in Liberty, the digital art session that Elena and X are putting on at Platt. So if you're interested in those, make sure you get signed up for those because the regular classes take a break. Everything you're in right now will take a break for June, July, and August. We'll be back in September. So if you just want to take the break, that's fine too. But if you're interested in some classes, make sure you get signed up for those. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Hope you have a great spring break week. You guys enjoy the weather while we have it for the next couple days before it starts raining. And if you're traveling, travel safe. We can't wait to see you back in the studio.